Alrighty, fans, we're back for the second segment of this week's episode of Sports Chat, and now Wrestletalk.
There apparently are going to be some more questions.
I'm going to look into the video scope right now. I'm going to tell you all the story about when I applied to write for WWF. Now, I'm pretty sure it was actually still WWF at the time.
It was.
The Times had just closed. I was really unsure what my next step would be. I mean, obviously, I'd been writing professionally for a couple of years. I'd been involved with wrestling for several years. SECW was on its way out. The Times was done. I mean, I was working at Exercise Elite. Lonnie Van calls me. He's like, look, I was on Monster.com and Titan Sports. Actually, it was still Titan Sports was the parent company at the time.
Yeah. That was before they kind of did whatever they did to make it WWE Incorporated.
It was before they went public with their stock, I believe.
Maybe.
But anyway, he's like, they're advertising for a TV writer for the wrestling shows. My God, that's perfect. I've been involved with wrestling, at least on the most basic of local levels, for years. I've got writing experience. I've got some great writing samples. I put a resume together. I've even included some video of my SECW work, some of my stuff I'd written for the Times, some storyline ideas I had. Waited about 2 weeks. Got a letter in actual, as strange as this may seem to a lot of you, got a letter in the mail from them. I still have it somewhere. Where they basically explained to me, we're not looking for people that know wrestling to write for us. We're looking for people that write TV shows.
And that's what happened to the WWF.
Yeah, and that's another big problem with what's going on in wrestling today.
Of course, I personally also blame the switch over from WWF to WWE because of them wacky Britons.
You know what? I mean, we should have explained to the British that, last time we had a dispute with them, we kicked the crap out of them. We're our own country now. We don't care about your little World Wildlife Fund, your little panda bears running around. This is pro wrestling.
That's right.
$1 billion a year industry. Oh no, we gotta save the pandas.
I don't understand how that worked out or how that could have been enforced in the country.
I really think it was Vince just saying, I don't need the bad publicity of fighting the panda huggers. I really wish those people would actually hug pandas.
I mean, honestly, the WWF has been around since the late 70s, I believe.
Oh, they've been around since the late 60s. WWF had.
And I knew it was it wasn't WWF.
That's true.
Until the late 70s, early 80s.
Right.
That's true. I mean, it had been around for a long time.
Yeah. And Vince's dad had a region up in the Northeast.
I mean, for a long time, he was in NWA territory.
That was the WWF. They were the Northeast
Territory. Not the Canadian.
New England.
But, I mean, that's what happened to wrestling, though. It became TV entertainment. And, that's one of the reasons that Nitro kicked Raw down in the ratings for 80-something straight weeks.
We've said it before, literally the worst thing that happened to wrestling was that night at Club La Vela when Shane McMahon showed up on Nitro.
It was. When Vince McMahon bought out the only company that was left to compete with him. I mean, they'd already stamped out the territories. The NWA is a shell of its former self.
Yes.
I mean, it still exists.
It's still around.
They actually still put on some great shows.
It's what birthed TNA.
It is. It's what birthed ECW back in the day.
It's true.
The National Wrestling Alliance. Gosh, what I would not give for them to get a TV deal again. An actual national TV slot.
Well, when Ted Turner bought WCW, the NWA, that was their deathbed.
It was. I mean, like I said, they exist as a shell of their former self. I wish Ted Turner would just finally say, "Forget it. Start my own wrestling show."
I would like to see Ted Turner go against the AOL board that sold WCW and literally put together a new one. I mean, he has the resources, personal resources. He could put another company together and start it over.
Now, I've also heard a rumor. I've been hearing it for a couple of years now. I've heard it from some reliable people that at one point, and I don't know where this deal stands now, that the companies that own the New York Mets and New York Yankees were looking to put together a wrestling company. Unfortunately, the names I heard batted around for it, I mean, their two biggest names they talked about were Vader, who's about 300 years old now,
Vader.
and Vampiro, who's most recently wrestled for the Insane Clown Posse in JCW.
Oh,
That's the
those
problem
people.
with the compete. To me, there's not enough good people in the WWE to keep it entertaining. I'm not sure there's enough good people anywhere out there to keep it entertaining.
They're there. It's
And
just
it's literally the legends have gotten older and they were never replaced properly.
Right. I mean, and the ones that could have replaced them all had their careers end early.
Well, the ones that can replace them tend to go towards movies now.
okay. The ones that could replace them. Let's see. Of the great wrestlers of the '80s, you had The Rock, who basically said, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah, I mean, he literally, with his ability on the
$5,
mic,
$10 million on the picture. Why are you going to stay in wrestling for?
his ability on the mic, he would have been this generation's Ric Flair. Unfortunately, Ric Flair is still this generation's Ric Flair, and Rick, I love you. Retire.
Let's see.
Steve Austin.
Steve Austin had his knees blew out.
And his neck
And his
broke.
and his
Austin's
neck.
not that young either. Austin was
No,
a wrestler in the 80s.
yeah, Austin had been around. I mean, he would have. I mean, he would still be okay.
He's got to be close to 50 though.
Oh yeah.
You got
I can't. Austin's part of the old generation.
Right, that's true. And there was the clique that really they all hit their peak in the Attitude Era.
But yeah, Michaels is gone. Helmsley's basically a behind the scenes player now.
He is a corporate
Yes.
cog. I'll get that word out eventually.
Kurt Angle is being wasted in TNA in a terrible angle with Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
I wish Jeff Jarrett would retire. I don't like him. Never have.
I've never been a big fan of Jeff. I don't like people who refer to themselves as the chosen one. Jeff Jarrett is about on the same level as LeBron James.
It was like Jarrett tried to be the honky tonk man for a while, basically.
He tried to be Ric Flair for a while.
And he actually tried to be those things at the same time.
But Edge, I
Terrible
thought was
combination.
Pretty. That's
Edge was as good as it could get in this time. He has to retire. So he was not that young either. But I enjoy watching Randy Orton's matches. But Randy Orton's
No.
he's not consistently great on the microphone
He's
or
not.
anything like that. He's not.
Cena's terrible.
I've seen this whole gig is awful.
He needs to go away.
It needs to change. Something needs to change. It's like I was telling you, King Kong Bundy said on his interview. You don't need to be the same person for 15 straight years and never change anything.
There's CM Punk, who they're not using well.
But by far has the most potential. I'll tell you another one that, if used properly, has a lot of potential is Alberto Del Rio. And then, you get on the TNA side. Sting's not young.
Sting's not young.
Sting's probably 50 as well, or if not older.
Jeff Hardy's just a terrible drug addict.
Yep.
He's like having Kerry Von Erich on your roster. People love him, but he can't perform.
He's continuing to do not just he's doing hard drugs too, and that's the terrible thing about Jarrett. Japanese, they need to make him go away.
Yeah.
Just like they did Scott Hall. When he started really getting bad, they just need to make him go away.
RVD's no spring chicken.
I mean, I love RVD.
And he's a great performer.
We're not seeing any new people
There's
come
no
up.
new young talent that's that impressive.
That they're pushing.
You know, I enjoyed the Rhodes DiBiase tag team.
Mm-hmm.
But because the WWE refuses to have tag teams of relevance, they split them up and made them into lesser characters apart.
Right.
I like the Miz and Morrison together. Great tag team. Dirt Sheet was funny. Split them apart and they're less apart. Especially Morrison. They use him for nothing. They do nothing with Morrison. He's great in the ring. They do nothing with him. He's great on the microphone. They do nothing with him.
I'll actually tell you another one that's a great young talent. They'll wind up totally misusing to Alex Riley, who's feuding with Miz right now.
You know, at this rate, they'll bring back G.I. Bro.
I hope so.
Well, you know, they have Hugh Morris. They can bring back General Reaction, too.
They could.
But, I mean, just the stuff I watch on TV is crap. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm probably going to be in contact with the money man Preston Tipton this week about taking Wrestletalk on the road to a TXW show. Because their next show looks good. There looks to be some good stuff on there. Menace is returning. Jason Max of the Death Row Inmates is going to be on the card. You know, those are, as far as local wrestling goes, those guys are great talents.
Actually, we'll wrestle at the show.
Oh, there will be good wrestling at that show. Menace
is a good wrestler.
Menace does not put on a bad show. Period.
Yeah. Some of the best matches that I've seen was actually Menace and Kid Crazy.
Right. Now known as Shane Andrews. I talked to him. I talked to Robbie Race the other day.
Right.
Robbie's, like I said, to me the best talent is, or at least the most entertaining shows are floating around on the local level right now. Because around here we still have old school Southern wrestling.
That's right.
So, you know, it's not geared towards TV. You generally have a clear good guy and a clear bad guy. So, I mean, it's what I grew up watching. It's what you all grew up watching.
Right.
And it's what sells to me. You know, it's a throwback to some people. There's some people that I can't go there. I don't know anybody wrestling. Check out a local show sometime. If you don't know nobody wrestling, you may be surprised.
I mean, if you watch wrestling on TV, you're going to be surprised because it's going to be much better.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally nothing on TV right now that impresses me. I mean, when I buy these DVDs, and I know there's a lot of this stuff I can find on YouTube. When I buy these DVDs, I like it because, I mean, I get whole matches. I don't have to search. And I usually don't watch anything that happened after 2000.
The quality's higher on TV than it is YouTube.
That's true, too. I have dial-up internet.
That's
I
right.
know.
You're that person with dial-up internet.
I'm the one that when you log into AOL, it says, Pat, you have mail. But, you know, these DVD sets are the only good thing WWE is doing right now to me.
You know where the WWE is going with all this lack of wrestling?
Where's that?
The danger zone.
You're going to the danger
I'm
zone.
going to the danger zone.
Look into the video scope.
The video scope.
You tell them bye because we're about out of time.
I'm out of time.